Here we have the frontal bone, and within this frontal bone, we have the frontal sinus, and we're going to talk about where this drains later on. Next to the frontal bone and the frontal sinus, we have the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone. The cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone is what cranial nerve 1, the olfactory nerve, its fibers run through to make their way into the nasal cavity. Cranial nerve 1, the olfactory nerve, is sensory only. It has no motor innervation component. Just like cranial nerve 2, the optic nerve is sensory only as well. Another unique feature about cranial nerve 1 and 2 is that they both have no nucleus associated with them. So no nucleus to cranial nerve 1 or 2, and they are both sensory only. And the way in which that plays in here is because cranial nerve 1 runs through the cribriform plate into the nasal cavity. Posterior to this cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone, we have the sphenoid bone. And just as the frontal sinus was contained within the frontal bone, this sphenoid sinus is within the sphenoid bone. What's unique about here is we can also see sella turcica of the sphenoid bone, which is this little indentation. And sella turcica of the sphenoid bone has what's known as the hypophyseal fossa within it, and that's where the pituitary gland lies. Now, if we look here, this is still part of the sphenoid bone, but the sphenoid bone is connected to the basilar portion of the occipital bone, and that's what forms this bony landmark called the clivus. So this clivus is a small inclination which is made up of the sphenoid bone and the basilar portion of the occipital bone, and what sits on the clivus is the pons and the basilar artery, and that basilar artery is made up of the left and right vertebral arteries.